Thank you.
Good afternoon. I think after hearing NASA, I think most of us wants to get the program over. But nonetheless, I think this is the first program attending a Poumainya program here in Delhi, so I will have to take some time. First of all, I want to thank our Honorable MLA who has come all the way from Manipur to greet all of us, and my senior colleague in the civil service, Hebutamang sir, nice to see you again. One thing that is very consistent about you is not only your service in times of difficulties, but you are always there to share our happiness time also in almost all the programs of the Northeastern students or of the people, wherever the programs is being held. You make out time to come and be with us. Thank you once again. It's amazing to be here together with the Poumainya brothers and sisters. Many of you, I don't know if you know or not, my career started with all of you. My first, for about 6 months or so, I was in Talubi, but I was privileged to be one of the first direct IAS officer to be an SDO Paumata. Way back in 2011, October or so, I started my journey as a full-time SDO after my phase 2. Coming back from Mussoorie as an SDO Paumata. So it's good to relive my memories again, and I was there for about 1 year. And I'm happy to tell you that though I could not do much as a young officer there, I have tried my best. I remember toured almost every villages under the Paumata subdivision, even to Lai, and then I almost had my vehicle accident at one of the villages. I had a very fond memory. That was one of the first time where I get the taste of small pig. You still do that, right? They say it's given to only to a very special guest, and that was also the first time I tested that. What is that? The white that you take out from the bark of a tree. Looks like caterpillar.
Yeah.
Well, how do you call that?
Yeah.
Okay, but very tasty, huh? And that was also the first time I see how you guys rear those big honeybee. You know, you take the honey hives, you know, and dig inside the ground, make fire so that you can take it. You know, I came across all of those. It was a good opportunity for me to learn a lot, be given a lot of opportunities to interact with the people. As a new officer, I did not know much of what are the possibilities that the government can do. I tried my best. I remember one of the projects. So when I first joined, all in the SDO office, whenever the village authorities and other comes to meet me, they do not even have a place to sit. So I went down. I remember D.S. Punya sir was the chief secretary. So I said, sir, I need a waiting set to be constructed. So he sent me to MDS. I don't know if that waiting set is still there or not, but some structure must be still there. We got some funding constructed. Then at that time, they were also taking up the projects for construction of a new SDO office Bang, and all of those under the integrated project for 26 tribal blocks. So I saw Taushem and Tamai from Tamenglong, okay, on the list. But I did not see, I'm here as an SDO of Paumainya. So the next day, I went down and met Mr. Hussain sir, who was the special secretary, planning. I did not know any rules, okay, when I just started that time. So I said, sir, I'm SDO there. We do not have any good office. I'm just staying on a temporary quarter. So can you put Paumainya also on the list? He said, did you take the clearance of this and that person? No, sir, I don't know any rules. I have not even met the chief secretary. If there is still a place, please put it on the list. So he put it on the list. Last time I visited Paumainya, the quarters and all of those has been constructed, but I am not sure if it is occupied or not. In Paumainya, beyond the Assam Rifle camps, there will be few buildings consisting of SDO's quarter, SDO's office, banks, all of those. Anyone from Paumainya area could, I heard someone from Tungam. I'm not sure if it is occupied or not, but that was constructed, that got sanctioned during my SDO tenureship. I tried my best. Then after conducting election, I had gone to Taushem subdivision to serve my own subdivision. So that was a good experiences with Poumainya people. I had a lovely time. I learned a lot. Now, your freshers are extremely smart. I want to congratulate all of you for taking the decision to come here to Delhi, the capital of India. Why don't all of us give a big round of applause to them? It's not easy to take a decision to come to Delhi, especially if you happen to be from a family which may not have so much of resources, from a village which may not have the experience of people who have studied here in Delhi, especially if you have no leaders who has studied here in Delhi. It's a big journey, decision that you have chosen to come, and I'm so happy that many of you, I am sure that not even 40% of the freshers from Poumainya community have come up to the stage. I'm sure there must be still a lot sitting in the audience who has, not stepped up to the stage. But I also want to congratulate you too for making the decision to come to Delhi. Why I say this, because whether you like or not, Delhi will continue to be the capital of India for maybe so many more years to come. And Delhi is a place which gives you immense opportunity to make your life or to break your life. If you do not believe, you are listening to someone whose life has been made by being here in Delhi. Way back in 2002, I came here as an 18-year-old boy, okay, to start my graduation here in Delhi. I landed here on the 10th of June on a Brahmaputra mail, took a train from Dimapur on 48 hours train journey on a sleepers class ticket or general class ticket. Ticket was costing 300 rupees. The moment I got out of the train station, I thought if I landed up in hell, if hell exists. It was so hot. I really wanted to cry. But I told in my heart, Armstrong, this is the place which is going to make you what you want to become in life. I was brought to Delhi by one of our seniors, Mr. Caleb. We were taken to his house in Mahipalpur. The same afternoon, We were taken to church with my baggage. I was carrying my, baggage and coming to church. And after the church service, I went to stay with one of our Jamie brothers, Mr. Obed. Many of you will be knowing him. I stayed with them for about a month before I got admitted. Why did I say Delhi is the place that's gonna make you? Because Delhi gives you the best of exposures, the best of opportunities that no other cities can offer you. If you are here as a student, I'm telling you, the best in India comes here to study. The best in India that can represent the world is here to compete with you, to be your friend. I'm glad I got to study at St. Stephen's College. I studied physics from there. For many of you who thinks that you have done very well at home, that you have topped your university, your college. Congratulations for that. But let that feeling not live forever in you. Because I also did that. When I got my class 10 result from Tamenglong, I topped Tamenglong. I was pretty good at it. Okay, when I came to Shillong, I had to sit together. My classmates were Bengalis. I was one of the worst. But then I worked my way up. I was one of the highest scorer for physics, chemistry and maths at St. Edmund's College. So I thought, okay, Armstrong, you've done Shillong level, Meghalaya level. When I came up to Delhi, first 3 months of my life was really, really bad. That, you will not believe that I even went and took a withdrawal form from the college counter to say that I want to resign from the college. I will prepare for IITs and other exams. It was impossible to grasp what the teachers were teaching in classes. Whenever there was a class test on scale of 10, I'll be getting 0. Whenever the teacher writes down an equation on the board, the teacher would say, every one of you in the class except Armstrong understands or not. I will discuss with Armstrong later after the class. I thought I did well in school, class 12. But then when I came to Delhi, the standard is all different. You're gonna get to compete with people who are definitely better than you because they have been brought up from a different environment. I have had classmates who were toppers in IIT JEE exam, but for the love of physics, they have come to study. Their parents forced them to write medical exams, they topped it, they left because they love physics. For the whole 2002 till December, in fact, I was struggling so much. My mind would just not open up. It was such a difficult time that I faced. But then, come January, I said, Armstrong, you got to live life. You got to let the fear go. Then I started learning the ways of people in Delhi. Started looking at things, reading things. Changed the way I study. Because most of the students there who ever had studied there were mostly learning through by heart. You memorize them, you reproduce it in the exams, you top the exam. But it was not working at the university level anymore. I had friends who did not even finish 10-page notebook for 3 years. You will not believe. Why? Because they always only think. Whenever an equation is written on a board, they will not write. They will only think, okay, sir, the answer should be this. They learn to think and, play along in their minds only. Those people ended up in Harvard, in Stanford. They're teaching, some of them are teaching, some of them are scientists. I had them as my classmate. So friends, whoever had come here, topping the universities there, congratulations for whatever you have achieved so far. But here the level is gonna be different. The playing field, it's like when you run a 100-meter race. Many of your classmates, many of those people whom you will be competing with are almost done with 50 meters. They just have to run the remaining 50 meters, whereas you are on the starting line. So please know that you got to work double extra. Do not be complacent of the fact that you have done very well, you have done this. You know, I'll just give you an example of my niece. My mother always praised her, okay? Because she's my eldest sister's daughter. Oh, she has done so well. She has taught Manipur from Don Bosco Maram. You know, I think she will do so well in Delhi, this and that. You know what? She wrote CTET for MSc. Out of, I think, 300 for MSc, she scored only 130 something. Of course, in the college level, she was the highest. She could not get admission. She was so upset, so I told my mom, see, what to do. You know, Victoria could not make it to any of the colleges here in Delhi. My mom was so surprised. Oh, but I thought she was the best. The best standard there is different from what is here. But maybe because of my mom's prayers, she finally got in Delhi Technical University to do her master. I also had another niece who came here. She wrote this CTET. She did pretty well from Asufo, she topped this and that. For her graduation, when the this result came out, my mother was also still saying, oh no, she will do very well. And when she compared her marks with some of her classmates who got through this in the same college at Miranda House, they scored 700 on 700. 670 on 700. And her score was what? 450, 460s. So the level of competition is gonna be really, really challenging for all of you. I want you to know this, that you have come from a place which is already at a disadvantaged position because of the level of the competitors that you face. Because, let's not blame the faculty, but maybe because of infrastructure, this and that. In the midst of all of this, you're gonna compete with them. So, as you take up these challenges, I do not want you to give up. This is my first encouragement to you. Life was very tough when I started as a student. You know, we started our journey here in Delhi in a place called Nehru Bihar. Now it's all well polished and much better. But way back in 2002, I think there were more cattle than humans. Not a very great place to stay. But we started our career from there. That too stayed on the 5th floor because rent would be the cheapest there. My 2 sisters, my brother and me, we were staying with another friend of ours. In the midst of difficulties, I do not want you to give up. I remember those days when, money would not come from home on time. The gas ran over. So no gas to cook. What do? We go hungry the whole day. Waiting for DTC bus because the bus ride was free. Sitting in a rickshaw was quite a luxury. Most of the times we also walk. We had gone through all of those difficulties. So for those of you who feels that you are not in the best position, that your parents find it difficult to support you, do not give up in the midst of difficulties. I always tell myself, Armstrong, this is your time to relish and cherish your difficult times, because life is going to be better from now onward. I had my two sisters who used to stay with me, take a bus to Gitorni. For God's sake, I have not even visited Gitorni. Where is Gitorni? I don't know. I think I will pay a visit to the showroom where my two sisters used to stand there from 9:30 till 6 p.m. in the evening, just to get a salary of 3,000 bucks to support me and my brothers and sisters. In all of this midst, we have been able to overcome all of these difficulties. Do not give up. In college, yes, when the teachers were saying that, all of you in the class understands this equation or not, except for Armstrong, obviously your face turns red, pale. But I said, Armstrong, I should not give up. You should not give up. After the class hour, after evening dinner, I had the courage to take my books and go to that same teacher, sit down with him till 12 p.m., sharing coffees with him and learning equations from him. And that's how I've been able to come up. My first year, my result wasn't very good. Scoring 60% in physics is not good. My first year barely made it to 60%. You know what? In second year, I decided to rewrite out of 6 papers in first year. I rewrote 4 papers of the first year. And believe me, out of 50, I scored 45 above in all of these 4 papers. One of them I scored 49 out of 50. The never giving up spirit was there. I want you to learn the little bit of what struggle I have gone through. The second thing, today I want to talk about love. Even if you don't want to love anyone, anything in this world, please love yourself. That's very important. Why do I want to start with this? If you love yourself, you will not like to see yourself struggling for your whole life. For those of us who are below 25 or 30 years, okay, now I just touched 40. For those of you who are below maybe 25 or 30, this is the time you got to grill yourself to enjoy the rest of life. I always had in my mind that, Armstrong, you should be successful before you turn 25. I always challenge myself this. I want to challenge the young people, especially the freshers who have come here, to first of all become a civil servant, to become a businessman, businesswoman, to start your own entrepreneurs. Work like anything before you turn 30. That's the time when I think the world is equally opening up for you. Because that, I believe, is the time when you are not scared to take up anything in this world. And that's the time when you are willing to take up the challenges. That reminds me of the example which I took up as an SDO in Taushem subdivision. As a 26-year-old boy posted as an SDM in Taushem, I got tired of walking, to villages, to Taushem areas on foot. That was the time that I was challenged to take up the road construction, which the anchor just mentioned. It was impossible. This road construction started before I was born. Everyone said it's impossible. But you are crazy. You're willing to take on the world. We started. I just had 5 lakh saving rupees in my account because I was in the revenue service. I had some savings. Yeah, okay, I do not know the maths of how much it would cost. Like, go ahead, man, let's do it. The government said we do not have fund. It's going to take a long time to prepare the DPR, get the proposal on priority list, get it approved from Delhi. I just have 1 year to be an SDO in my subdivision. What do? Take it up. Do it. Be crazy. We took it up. We were able to complete. People from over 25 countries came to participate, donated for this road completion. And it became the People's Road. And you know what? Because we were able to start this as an SDM, this road became quite popular. So in 2020, when I came back as an DC, I went straight to Delhi and said, sir, I want this to be converted to a national highway. He said, no, Armstrong, the land acquisition cost is too much. There are so many projects already stuck up in Manipur, we cannot afford to take up new projects. What do we do? Okay, sir, if I get everything for free, will you still do the road? Like, he looked up to me and said, is that possible? Sir, I'm gonna try. That was on the 14th of March 2020, 10 days exactly before the COVID hits the country. I came back home, started discussing with everyone possible, not only in Manipur, 21 villages in Manipur, 27 villages in Assam. Traveled for about 4 months continuously, consecutively, did the impossible, got almost all the papers, in fact all the papers required, came back to Delhi in October, showed him the papers. Huh? Is this true? Yes, sir. Okay. He called up the executive director in Manipur. I want the DPR in 15 days. Anyway, since I've been preparing all the groundworks, DPR, everything got done in 30 days. And you know what? By December, before Christmas, the tender was declared. By the month of May, June, tender was awarded and road started construction. And today we got the new national highway called 137. This is, of course, the Senapati people will be jealous, but Tamenglong people will no longer need to take your highway because Guwahati will be just 6 hours away for us. You're jealous? Yes. Yeah, we'll be just 6 hours away from Guwahati, so I need not land up in Dimapur or Imphal to go to my hometown. I just can get down at Guwahati airport and straight away right to my village. That's the impact. When you're crazy, you can do a lot of things. So for those of you who are still below 30, make it, take it, and make things happen. Work really, really hard if it requires of you to do that. I've gone through this process. You know, for those of you who wants to write civil service, come and join me in the service. We are too less of us. Too few of us. I wanted people who are from the civil IAS to have come and continue some of the works that I started in Tadubi, in Paumata, even in Taushen. There was none. Because the way we do things, the way we approach things, when you are a direct recruit, we look at things from a bigger perspective. Not that the others are less narrow perspective, but it's much easier to connect and work. That's where I want to challenge you. For those of you who just introduce yourself as having an ambition to write this, to get through this IAS exam, go for it. Study really damn hard. You know how I used to study? Okay, I'm a sinusitis patient. I've been operated 2 times. Okay, right after I finished my class 10 and after I finished my graduation. 3 days before my prelims result, I was still admitted in the hospital because of my sinus. I used to tie my head on a wet handkerchief. And I've had really perennial back pain. Okay, for so many years now. We could not afford a very comfortable chair. We used to have that iron chair, we just put one mattress, that's it. We never could afford an AC, so we buy a second-hand cooler sitting under that 5th floor, you know, studying for the exam. It wasn't easy. After my college, went to study again, stay in Gandhi Bihar. Okay, people may laugh at you for staying in Nehru Bihar and Gandhi Bihar, but be proud of it. That's the place where maximum of the civil servants come from, okay, in the country. Don't feel shy about staying in Gandhi Bihar, Nehru Bihar. If I come across some UPSC aspirants who say, I'm staying in Safdarjung, I really want to say you're in the wrong place. Safdarjung is not a place for civil servant aspirants. You want to buy any magazines, you have to come up to what? Bear Sarai? You have to go up to Karol Bagh or wherever. Please change your place. Place like Gandhi Bihar, Nehru Bihar, now Sant Nagar, those are the places. Why did I say this? Because every second person that you meet on the street, they're your competitors. They're gonna compete with you for the exam. That's where you draw your inspiration from. Do not ever be shy of staying in those places. Agreed? Some seniors agreed or not? Do not ever feel shy. Okay? Slog if you have to. I joined a coaching institute. Let me just give you another example of why many of our people cannot even complete coaching classes. Because coaching itself is so rigorous. I joined ALS in Batra Cinema area. 256 of us, total classrooms. We were about 80 from Northeast. Wow. You know, good feeling. After 2 months, the number came down from 80 to about 50, 60s. From Northeast, huh? Then slowly, after 4 months, we were less than 25, 30 of us. Because why? The class starts at 7:30 a.m. in the morning. We cannot afford to wake up. The class goes on till 12. That is for general studies with one small break. The optional class will start again at 2 p.m. So, when all the classes were over and when the test series started, there were only 2 of us. One guy from Nagaland and me. And one guy from Churachandpur. My Churachandpur friend ended up to be in the Indian Custom and Excise. My Sema friend ended up in Indian Audit and Account Service. What I mean to tell you is this. It is not easy. Forget about passing the exam. Even continuing and completing the coaching classes itself is a challenge. The challenge starts there. Your parents will find it so difficult to get all the money required for coaching classes. I just heard the coaching fees have gone up to 1,80,000 rupees. Come on, which many of our parents cannot afford that. Even after affording that, many of us cannot even complete coaching. I remember attending 5 to 6 hours of coaching classes, then come back home, you barely have time, to eat, drink. then you want to make sure that you study for at least 4 to 5 hours. Making sure that you end up getting at least 6 hours of sleep. Basically, there is absolutely no much time left for any other things. It's going to be challenging. After the coaching classes were over, about 1 year of self-study, studying for 8 hours, 10 hours, even if, watching movies, even if you watch for 10, how many of you have watched a Korean series for like non-stop? Can I see your hand? Because I also have done it. Yeah, 1, 2, come on, do not feel shy. Oh, Poumainya are boring or what? None of you shows those. So, if it's so, when you're watching Korean series, it is so compelling for you to go to another series and not wait for the next day, right? You find yourself in similar situation while studying. That's what I want to tell you. Find your studies a reason to be so compelling that you just do not want to give up. So studying 8 hours, 10 hours to 12 hours after all your coaching classes are over should not be so difficult for you, should be normal for you. That's what I want to advise you, for those of you who are going to write civil service. Since Movio told me that he has specifically wanted me to be here because Poumainya still has no IAS, but you have IPS, no? Huh? Not yet? Okay, so then it gives me more reason to speak a little longer. Getting into the IAS, yes, you may not have Rolls-Royce, Mercedes-Benz, the biggest bungalow, you may not be the richest, but getting into the civil service, getting into the IAS is an amazing opportunity. Many of you, during the introduction, says that you want to serve your community, right? You want to do good for your society. Believe me, IAS has given me a wonderful opportunity to serve people, irrespective of caste, creed, and whatever. Not only people from Poumainya, but people from every possible areas, even people here in Delhi. Go for it. I've been blessed to travel to more than 25 countries now, mostly on government funding. I've been blessed to speak, to get an opportunity to speak in top universities, including IITs, IIMs, you name it. I may not have the money to stay in a hotel which cost me 3,300 euros a night. Can you just multiply it, some of you? So it comes to 100 rupees so about 3 lakh rupees a room night. I was given to stay for 6 nights in Cannes Film Festival. Have you heard of the Cannes Film Festival? Yes? I represented India delegation there in 2023. You get so much of opportunities. Road was just one example. You know, I was just 15 days ago in the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting looking after films. I had the opportunity to send one of your Poumainya guy to Cannes Film Festival, Alex's younger brother, Ashok. Just yesterday, one Tangkul guy whom I sent for the Busan Film Festival called me back after he reached back Ukhrul and said, "Sir, you've given me an opportunity which I would not even have dreamt of." From the poorest people in the village. I remember when I used to come to Taushem, you know, there was one brother, and if I'm speaking too long, let me know, huh? there was one brother and sisters, very old. Okay, I think the brother was married and the wife passed away. The sister came back, after marriage. So only two of them were staying there, like 85 years old plus. I really wanted to do something for them. I wanted to get an old age pension, but all their palm, everything gone. So Aadhaar card capturing could not be done. I felt so bad. So I tried iris capturing, but that also could not go through. What do I do for this type of people? After I came back, after my DC, everything, I could not do much. So I came to Delhi, and one fine day, someone from Manipur called up saying, "So we have one opportunity for this, someone in Taushem. Okay, give a job to someone who assures to help this couple, who will give a portion of their salary to help this old man and his sister." I got someone, got employed. For the first 6-7 months, I heard they really helped. I'm not sure because I have not been able to follow up. What I mean to say is, even if giving a package of sugar and everyday powder, even on that level, you have an opportunity to be able to send people to the topmost level, like sending our people to Cannes Film Festival. IS presents you an opportunity to be able to serve your people. So my brothers and sisters from Poumainya community, take it as an opportunity, take it as a challenge to join me in the civil service. I still have I'll retire in 2044. Okay? So how many more years? 20 more years now? I want at least 10-20 people from Poumainya community to come and serve me together, be it in the government of Manipur, be it in the government of India. So go for it. Now, next, about loving yourself. One is struggling really, really hard to make it. In the process of struggle, I want you to also not forget your people who really matters to you. I have been blessed because I had the hopes of so many of my people who wanted me to be successful. Their prayers were with me. Keep them in your heart. You know what? On the day of my interview, the first question the chairman asked me was, "Armstrong, you're already in the IS. No, already in the Indian Revenue Service. Why do you want to write? Why are you here wanting to be in the IS?" I just said, "Sir, at this point of time, there are at least 3 lakh people from my Jelangong community who are fasting and praying for this particular moment that I get through the exam." So the chairman was surprised. How will you serve your people if you are posted in Tamil Nadu? Because he's from Tamil Nadu. That's a tricky question for me. So I said, "Sir, I absolutely have no problem serving the people of Tamil Nadu. It doesn't matter. People who are in hunger, poverty and thirst. I will not differentiate between my people and people from Tamil Nadu." The chairman was so happy. After that, my interview went very smoothly. He started protecting me, Even if the other board members started asking difficult questions, he would say, "Armstrong must have forgotten." And one particular question, one of the board member was asking, "What are the visions for India if you are made an IAS?" So I started with delivery system. I say, government have a lot of schemes, but delivery system has to improve. Then the member say, "Give an example." "Sir, I never knew about this FPS, fair price of rice and kerosene and other sugars, till I started reading for UPSC. Then the members say, no, it is very successful in Andhra. So I was about to start arguing with him. You know what the chairman said? It must be true in Manipur. So I never got into an argument. And you know what? When the result came, I became an IS. Though my mains that year was little low, mine was the highest in English medium. I scored 225 on 300. No? That means to say, do not forget where you come from. Do not forget your people. Keep it in your heart. That's gonna give you a reason to struggle even harder. That's gonna give you a motivation. Because see, many of us has beautiful aims, but very few of us are successful because we do not have the motivation to carry on. Find a reason for you to struggle to be able to read your books revised 100 times. You know, one of the books I revised so many times that I remember even the page when questions were asked from that book. There was one book called Lakshmikan for public policy, public administration. I read it so many times that when questions were asked in prelims and mains, I could remember exactly page number of that book. You need motivation for that. Keep your people, your reason as one of the motivation. Fine, if you do not want to keep that, if you never has been brought up from Poumainya area or Manipur, no problem, but you should have the vision that you want to do something good for the humanity. Please keep that in mind. Of course, there were people, friends whom I met after I cleared the exam. Their motivation was, because this girl is from this family, I wanted to make sure that I chase her up. I became this and that. Well, you can have your own reasons. I'm not discouraging you not to do that. If that is the reason to get you, make it happen. That's what I want to tell you. The third thing is laziness, not only for studying but to work out. You need to be physically active. Okay? In Delhi, everything changed. At home, you wake up at 6 a.m., right? Or 5 a.m. Emily must be a witness to it. He has just come from Manipur. Here in Delhi, waking up at... Okay, for those of you who are working, that's another thing. But waking up at 10 o'clock is a, challenge. Many of us forget to take care of our body. Even while I was preparing for UPSC, I make sure that I sweat every day. While preparing for UPSC, I used to run around those Gandhi Bihar Park and Nehru Bihar Street, making sure that I sweat. This is important for you. I don't know if you follow me on Facebook. I put up my workout video. It has gained more than 1 lakh views. Let me brag myself. Though my Facebook page just got unpublished because it got hacked. Someone from Hyderabad in Pakistan hacked my account, so it's now been unpublished. But take care of your body. Because studying 8 hours, 10 hours, all on work, it makes you really dull and uninteresting and no more energy left for you. I want you to take care of your body. Even if nothing else, even if there is no space for you, if you are living in Munirka, I agree, some of you staying in Munirka will agree, right? There is no place for you to run around. No problem. Do workout in your room. Sometimes on weekends when I don't want to go and run in the park, I make sure that I sweat. Please take care of your body because this is very, very important to keep you going. That's my last advice. Thank you so much once again. Delhi is a place where you can make your life. And lastly, but not the least, our pastor is here, will know better. And each one of us who has been through this journey, if you have been born a Christian, I urge you that trusting in God, putting your burden in God has been one of the best things that I've seen in life so far. See, it's not easy for you when the entire world is going crazy, you know. Every Friday there's a new movie release. You know, every place you go, you find someone, you know, very attractive. Every place you go, every 100 meters you've got a wine shop. Temptation is too much in Delhi. Okay? If you think that Poumainya area, Senapati area is a temptation enough, come on, that's nothing. Okay? If you think that Senapati is too happening, that's like, what? 0.00% of Delhi. That's nothing. If you want to spoil yourself, Delhi is the place. I don't want you to be drawn in that process. It's a challenge to sit down on an empty chair, on a hard wooden table, to just open your books. And especially in my time, there was no mobile phone. I was lucky. Now you got mobile phones. Every 5 minutes you want to turn to your phone. Distraction is too much. In the midst of all of this, stability has to come from God. The heart to be, you know, committed, to be that perseverance has to come from God. And I thank God that God has been throughout in my journey. I always write down, you know, a chapter from Isaiah. Write it straight on my wall. The first thing I see when I wake up in the morning will be this. You know, particular verse, I don't remember. It says, you're being set aside to release people who are in prisons, to give sight to people who are blind. I write them down, paste them on my wall. God has been the biggest motivating factor for me. And I thank God that in every journey that I've been, in every posting I have been, God has always been on my side. And I want you all to keep this God as your priority, to be someone that God expects us to fulfill in our own life. And I wish all of you the best, and I wish the President and his team the best for organizing such a wonderful event. Even now that you're 35 means matured, good enough to settle down, have family. Maybe Poumainya students, Poumainya society, now that you have, you know, touched 35, maybe you continue to be a leader that shines for our entire Naga community and to our country. And I wish all of you the best, the elders, every families here in Delhi, to continue to so leading us the way in every possible ways. Thank you, and God bless all of you.
Thank you, Shri Armstrong Pame, for the powerful message on persistence and determination. Your talk has been a timely reminder that success often lies just beyond the point of giving up. Thank you, sir, for the thought-provoking and inspiring speech. Your presence has truly enriched our occasion. Next up in line, we have Zilla Choir. Zilla Choir is a choir of senior members from Poumainya Baptist Church, Delhi. Though not a professional group, it was formed with a sincere desire to praise God together in unity through song. Zilla Choir exists to glorify God through worship while inspiring the younger generations to nurture a love for singing. Zilla Choir, the stage is yours.